You know, as a kid growing up here, being his son and my sister and my brother, you know, you didn't think anything of it. You know, Dad was doing his thing, but you look back now, the long-lasting legacy of what he started when he came here, you know. The Rosa Village, the Rosa Plaza, the Rosa Fire Department. But who are the DeRosas? Mom and Dad were born both in Italy in the 1920s, 30s, and then immigrated to the United States in 1950. That's when I was born, in Brooklyn. So they made it to New York, which most Italians did, families did, and we lived out on Long Island. And then Dad decided that it was a point in time that he was tired with living in New York, migrated here to Florida, and ended up in Crystal River. Citrus County was a real small county, 28,000 I think was the population. I think what drew him here was the coastline. They liked, you know, the part of the coast. They came from the Naples area. And the big attraction, I think, was just the lifestyle. It was laid back, reminded them of parts of Italy. Well, when they got here, he bought a piece of dirt, you know, like a lot of people did. He bought a development, and that's where the DeRosa name pops up in a lot of the subdivisions here. We're about 2 miles away from the original subdivision from the firehouse here. And Dad bought that first clump, sold it really quick because he was selling it in our store in New York. And as he bought more, he developed more. We ended up with 4 different subdivisions covering this part of the county where you see the name Rosa Plaza, the Rosa Village, the Rosa Fire Department, the Flea Market. These were all things that, you know, he and our family developed over the years. But as you go out 495 coming out of town, there's a little sign on the road that says the Rosa Village, and I got friends of mine that just laugh and go, wow. And here's the irony of it. Where we're sitting in the firehouse here started out in a little shed in front of our stores here. We had a little strip center. 3 stores, and we got the mini pumper and we had no place to put it, and we had to build a shed, and we got everybody out there and we built the shed. And that was just kind of the way the community was. Everyone jumped in and shared in the experience of building this thing. And then as time went on, the fire district was put together where Dad was honored as one of the fire commissioners, and he said, "You're going to be the fire chief." I go, "Okay, I don't know what I'm doing." You know, I ended up going to fire college. It was a pretty fascinating time. The deli was an Italian deli back in 1974, when Italian delis didn't exist. The closest was Tampa, Orlando, and we would import all of our stuff from New York. Boar's Head was the big meat, which now is the popular one, but we were bringing in that, and all the Italian specialties. And it was another crazy adventure. You know, we saw a need, and we filled it, just like this firehouse. I mean, fire service was minimal. I think the most important thing, it was community driven. It was all volunteers. Now we've got paid people, which is great. It's an asset to the community, and it'll be here far beyond all of us. When, you know, we're gone, it'll still be here. It'll be an asset for the community. If you ever wanted a 9,000 square foot junk house, a flea market, my dad built one. It's right next to the firehouse, convenient. Everything right here at the Rosa Plaza. We built that as kind of a place for people to sell stuff, and we decided to do indoors, and that was my first commercial building I built after Seven Rivers Hospital. It's 9,000 square feet, and we put a little booths in there, and people would come in with their weekend stuff. And then as the years went on, vendors would leave and Dad would buy their stuff. And at one point, it was all his stuff. I go, "Dad, you got 9,000 square feet of stuff. What are you gonna do with this thing?" So it was a flea market. As time went on, you know, the development, my mom had gotten sick. She went to the hospital in St. Pete, Palms of Pasadena, and had some procedures done there. And it went successfully, and the doctor, Willie and Dr. Tobias, who were the owners of the hospital, came up to visit. And they said, "Boy, we really like it up here." And so, unbeknownst to us, they bought a piece of property to build a hospital. Dad found out about it, got involved with it, but the problem was that at the time it was really political putting another hospital because there was already a hospital here, and the other hospital didn't want one here. So we had to go through what was called a certificate of need. We had to justify to the health board that there was a need for a hospital here. And we were going through pictures, and I got a picture of my dad at the city council meeting in Crystal River standing up saying, "We are gonna get this hospital here." And they approved it. So that's how Seven Rivers got here. Had my mother not gotten sick, Dr. Willie Tobias would not come up here. Who knows what would have happened. And that was my first real estate transaction. And then as time went on, you know, Dad was real active with the educational foundation at the hospital. A lot of people got training, got their tuition paid, so the hospital was pretty much his big project of his lifetime. And as he waned down in the years, you know, he was still active, and then Fallen Heroes, the monument behind Bicentennial Park, for all the veterans who passed away since the Civil War to the current Iraq War are on there. I think they've got 72 names on there. And there are 5 from the Vietnam era, which was my era. But Fallen Heroes was his last major project before he passed. And, you know, we lost our mom before that. And it's just been an interesting adventure. You know, as a kid growing up here, being his son and my sister and my brother, you know, you didn't think anything of it. You know, Dad was doing his thing. But you look back now, the long-lasting legacy of what he started when he came here. You know, he didn't know anybody here. He just came in, saw a place, an opportunity, and fell in love with it. I'm Vinny DeRosa. My family are the DeRosas. And now you know the story behind the name.